Hello everyone and welcome to another lockdown interview. I'm pleased to be joined by the cycling legend that is Johan Museeuw. The Lion of Flanders dominated the cobblestone monuments, winning both the Tour of Flanders and Paris-Roubaix on 3 occasions. What made this more remarkable was Museeuw had a possible career-ending crash in the 1998 Paris-Roubaix in the Arenberg forest and came back to win the race in 2000. Famously pointing to his healed knee as he crossed the line. Museeuw also managed to win the season-long World Cup competition twice and became the world champion in 1996 in Lugano. A truly incredible career, so lots to discuss. So without further ado, here is the interview with Johan Museeuw. Hi Johan, how are you doing this morning?
I'm fine in the situation that we are. So it was a difficult time, and it's still a difficult time, but it's coming better. But yeah, we can still get on the bike every day, and it's the last weeks and last month it was beautiful weather here in Belgium. So yeah, that's positive. But the other things are not so positive. But it will become better in the near future. So. Hopefully we'll see some races this year, and we can do what we want.
How has the lockdown affected you with the Flanders experience?
Yeah, no job at all for me and no races, so I'm guiding people around, and yeah, just before my season was starting, we get the lockdown, and that was really not so good for me, but it's for everybody the same. So yeah, no guiding. I see nobody, I see no people, no guests. So but I bike alone or with my young boy Stefano, and now we can start also biking with a group of 20 people. But not for the moment. I cannot do anything of events or guiding.
You were saying that the Flanders got cancelled this year. Who did you think was the big favorite for the Tour of Flanders this year in 2020?
But it's not really cancelled. We have Flanders in
Okay.
October and Roubaix. So yeah, it will be the same favorites, and yeah, it will be different this year. It's all in 1 month, Tour de France and the classics and the monuments. So yeah, it will be. I don't think it will be better or worse. It will be the same, and maybe Greg van Avermaet will win his first Tour de Flanders this year in October in the Corona generation.
What for you? We'll go into this a bit. What was it that made Tour of Flanders so special for you and still does?
Yeah, it's in Belgium, and I like long distance racing, and I like the cobblestones, and I like the hills here. So yeah, before I was a sprinter, and then I did the transformation as a classic rider, was I going to the team of Patrick Lefevre. So with new training, and I did a little transformation and a classic winner. And already the first year that I was in that Italian team, I won the Tour of Flanders. So yeah, then you know what the difference is to win another race and a Tour of Flanders races. If you won here in Belgium the Tour of Flanders, that means something, and that you are something. And if you win or won 3 times, it's another different.
So you start your career with ADR, and in that year you kind of quickly you did Tour de France in your Neo Pro season. What was it like coming into the peloton?
Yeah, that's correct. I did the first year already the Tour de France. So when I was 21 of years old, to participate the Tour de France when you're young, it's something great and something new for me. So it was really evented. But after a couple of years, your mind is changing because Tour de France is hard, it's warm, and it's really quite hard and really big mountains. And I was not really a climber. I was okay in 1 day races, but I wasn't really a climber. So Tour de France was hard for me. The last, yeah, after 10 days, everything was over for me because I didn't recover anymore after 10 days. Then it started really hard. So I did 11 times Tour de France. I won 4 times in the Tour de France, and I won at the Champs-Élysées, and I take a couple of days the yellow jersey and a couple of days the green jersey. That's it. But people will remember me more than as a classic racer.
In 1989, you were part of the Greg LeMond team in that very famous 8-second Tour de France. What was that like to be the domestique of Greg LeMond in that tour?
That was my second year as professional, and ADR wasn't a big team, but we have some big riders in as Greg LeMond and Eddie Plancard, and we won already Tour de Flanders and Paris-Roubaix with Dirk de Mol, and we get out to Luxembourg because there was the start of Tour de France, and we did a good time trial. So he was good in the classification, but we didn't talk he can win the Tour. But finally, at the end, he was second in the generation. And it was a chrono at the end of the Tour de France at the Champs-Élysées. And he has to beat Greg LeMond in 40 seconds. So it was, Fignon was a big champion, and he won already the Tour de France. So the chance was 50-50. But he was in a good shape the last day, and with his triathlons too, he was also a little advantage between Fignon.
You were mentioning the transformation between you being a sprinter to a classics rider. What kind of things how did you transform? Were you training differently or different mindset or?
When I went to Italian, that was the start of my new training with the training center of Aldo Sassi in the Mappé Center. So they give me totally new training sessions. And that they say now you have to count just on the classic races, Tour de Flanders and Roubaix. And I did other trainings than before. Before it was always some distance and hours. And I have to train a little bit different. That was the beginning of a new generation and new training. And my first year it was already bingo.
You were very successful in the World Cup competition that was happening then. Was that something you were targeting each year, or was it kind of you were targeting the races and then if you were high up, you would kind of try and compete for it? Or was it a specific objective?
A World Cup was a good ranking for a classic rider like me, and it was really a nice jersey. It was like a jersey, like a world champion. At the end of the year, if you can win the World Cup, it means something. I won 2 times the World Cup, and that's mean you have to take points everywhere. It started in Milan-San Remo and it ended in Lombardia. So that's mean you have to be in a good shape in a whole year. And I'm proud and I'm happy that I won 2 times the World Cup.
I really want to see it in the modern day cycling. Do you think that would something that could be interesting to incorporate into the new modern day peloton?
I think so. I didn't understand UCA that they canceled the World Cup jersey, because for a classic rider, and for the moment like Greg van Avermaet, he has a big chance when it's still the World Cup jersey to wear that jersey, and also Sagan and other classic day racers. It means something for the classic and for the monuments, and they talk always about the monuments, but before there was a ranking of the monuments, and that was the World Cup. So I don't understand the UCA that they cancel it.
Did you try and go for the monuments? Because you've only ridden Giro Lombardia once, and you finished 6th in Liège-Bastogne-Liège?
Yes. Liège was after Paris-Roubaix. So if you do Flanders, Ghent-Wevelgem and Roubaix full, then the body is a little bit empty. So you have to recover. And I was once in a good overall for the World Cup. So I have to start in Liège and try to take some points. And I take some points. And also in Lombardia, I take some points. But to be honest, that two races are a little bit too hard for me. And yeah, I was sure to win Flanders and Roubaix, but I wasn't sure to win Liège or to win Lombardia, because that's another type of racing.
Do you like the modern day circuit of the Tour of Flanders compared to the one you did?
Yeah, it was changing a couple of years before, and in the beginning it was strange to accept it, but now everybody accepts it, and it's new cycling, and it's Flanders Classic. So yeah, they passed 3 times at the old Quaremo, and yeah, the people can see a lot of riders, so that's good. So it will. I think it's even harder. I don't know. It's harder now, or in my generation, it's different. We have the last two climbs was the Muur of Gerardsbergen, and we have the Bosberg, and now they do the last two climbs are Quarmo and Patersberg. So it's a little bit different, but it's still hard, and it's still a good winner for the Tour of Flanders.
So in 1995, you won your second Tour of Flanders. What was that like, winning it for the second time?
If you win a first one, it's already great, and you hope that you win a second, and then if you win a second, then you win a third, and if you win a third, you want to win a fourth. It's already difficult to win once Tour of Flanders, so I'm happy that I won 3 times, and I was also 3 times third and 3 times second, but it doesn't count a second and a third place. Just winner takes it all, and that's the way of life in sport.
Yeah, what was the edition like with Gianni Bugno, where you were coming up, the two of you, to the final sprint? Do you feel like you should have not let him lead out that sprint?
That year I did a little mistake to stay in the wheel of Ballerini. So I was in the wheel of Ballerini, and I was thinking he will go on, and he was not going on. So at that moment, Gianni Bugno was already away on the left side, and yeah, I have to come back from behind. So and I missed the Tour de France that year with 1 millimeter.
In 1996, you were after Paris Tour. You said that you were considering retiring. What was kind of the reason for that? And it was a good job you didn't as well.
The reason it was a hard year with the Olympics. I did the Tour of Swiss, I did the Tour de France, and I did the Olympics in one way. So it was a long time racing and stressful, and the Olympics wasn't okay for me because I get to Atlanta to take the gold medal, and I was at the 10th place, so that was not really okay. And then I have to prepare all the World Cup races after. Yeah, I was a little bit of a depression in. So when Paris tours, I have to be in top 10 to defend my World Cup jersey. And yeah, we count on two guys. It was Tom Steels, the sprinter, and me. And Tom Steels wasn't a winner, and I wasn't in the top 10. So I was a little disappointed that day. And that was the reason that they say, no, it's over. But yeah, as a professional and as a champion, after the race, if you say something, there are many cameras and many journalists, and yeah, that's the way how it's work. And the week after I was world champion.
What was that World Championships like for you? Because there was quite a mountainous course in Lugano, and it was on your birthday as well.
It was on my birthday, and it was really a hard circuit. And on Wednesday, I did a long training with Jalabert, 300k, and I feel really great, and the legs are really okay. And I was really motivated for that day, and I feel okay. So I say, if I feel like that, then it's okay for me. It was a hard day, and finally, it was yeah, I was the winner.
The next year, wearing the rainbow jersey, did you feel extra pressure? And what do you think of the curse of the rainbow jersey?
Yeah, there was always pressure around me, and especially if you won the World Cup jersey, there's more pressure. But yeah, I have already pressure before because I was alone in Belgium, so I have to defend the cause in Belgium, and I have to win. I have to do everything. But as a world champion, yeah, they accept more from you, and you have to win everything. And yeah, that year I didn't won a monument, so I was in the breakaway in Flanders, and I have a crash. And in Roubaix, I was in the breakaway with André Schmil and Moncassin, and I have a puncture the last section. So that was bad luck. It was not really, my condition was not okay, but I have just bad luck that weeks. But I won 15 races that year as a World Cup as a World Cup winner.
In 1998, you had a really bad crash in the Paris-Roubaix, and it seemed like it was really severe. So in 2000, you came back and you did the iconic now where you pointed to the knee. What was that whole ordeal like for you and the 2000 Paris-Roubaix as well?
That was 2 years after the crash that I almost lost my leg because I have gangrene, and I have to fight between gangrene. And yeah, 2 years later, you win that race that you almost lost your leg in Arenberg. So that sign to the knee, that was a sign that to the people that have helping with me to come back. So that was just a sign to my kinesist and people that working together with me to come back.
It was an incredible victory because you had a 44-kilometer solo break.
Yes, I did 2 times a long solo, and I did one times with Tom teammates. That was my first Roubaix, and the others were solo. So yeah, it's nicer if you can do it solo. So I did it once a solo of 45 and once a solo of 54. So in Roubaix, that's long, but if you feel good in Roubaix, that's okay.
What was the finish like in '96 when you were finishing 3 guys from Maffei in the velodrome? Was it kind of showing that Maffei were the super teams in the classics in the '90s?
We did a breakaway in 80K from finish with 4 guys, and at the beginning Ballerini was still with us, but after a puncture, and we didn't wait for him. We were with 3 guys, and we decided to go to the velodrome with 3 guys, and we decided, and okay, after there was a lot of discussion about that, but okay, we decided, and we didn't do the sprint, and I won, and Taffy was second, and Bortolami was third. So, but people still remember it, and that means something. So, if people still talking about it and ask it for me, yeah, tell me now the true story, and that means something. But we decided to stay together, and yeah, that's it. And that was a good logo for the sponsor, because Vinci and Chemi was the logo, and we went together. So and I'm still friend with Andrea Taffi, and I'm still friend with Bortolami. So yeah, it's okay.
So what was it like coming to the like near the end of your career? You actually won the same team as Tom Bonen. So were you kind of mentoring him when you were on the same team?
I have ride together with him 2 years, and yeah, my last Roubaix, he was already at the podium. Then he was riding in the Lance Armstrong team, in the US Postal team, and then he was young, and the year after he was coming to our team, and I have riding together with him 2 years, and you see immediately that was a big talent, and yeah, he won 4 times Roubaix and 3 times Flanders, so that means something. Yeah, I stopped, and there was already something new, Tom Bonen. So that was good for Belgium, and now we have the same with Evenepoel. Evenepoel is not a classic rider, but we have again a great rider. So that's good for Belgium.
So final question: what, when you're looking back at your career as like one of the best monument riders in history, what is kind of the key moments? Like, what are your key highlights from your career?
Oh, my highlights. Yeah, I have to make the choice in 11 World Cup races because I won 11 World Cup races. I won 3 times Flanders, 3 times Roubaix, 2 times the World Cup, world champion. Yeah, it's easier if you won just one Flanders and one Roubaix. Um, yeah, maybe let us say that if you won the first Flanders and the first Roubaix, it's all new. But to be if you can wear 1 year the world jersey, it's yeah, it means something and it's something special. So for me, my highlight is to be a World Cup, a world champion, and to wear every race that special jersey.
And just last one, do you think that any rider can win the monuments in the modern day peloton, or do you think it's too specialized now and too spread out?
Yeah, maybe Van der Poel or Van Aert, but we were thinking that Sagan will do it as well. So, but for the moment, he has just one Flanders and one Roubaix. And yeah, we have still to wait for a San Remo for him and other races. So for the moment, Sagan is a big rider and a big winner, but for the moment he has just one Flanders and one Roubaix. And yeah, it's not so easy to win once, and it's not so easy to win 3 times and 4 times, and it's not so easy to win every monument. So Gilbert tried to win all the monuments and then he have the big five. But yeah, it will be difficult for Gilbert to win Milan San Remo. So I hope for him that it will be difficult. And yeah, then we have to wait for another rider to win the big five. And I think Van der Poel can win every race of the big five. But yeah, if you can do it and to win, it's a different. So every year you try to win a monument, and then after a couple of years, then you see, okay, I won already 3, and I have to do another 2. So it's quite difficult to win all the monuments.
All right. Thanks very much, Johan. I really appreciate this. And thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
That's it for this lockdown interview with Johan Museeuw. If you're new here, why not check out my interview with another former Belgian pro turned team owner, Axel Merckx, or check out the interview with recently retired Steve Cummings. And as always, thank you for watching and see you next time.